Let's look through the newspaper headlines now, and we begin with the Nation newspaper. The major story here says tax. Federal government targets double revenues within 3 years. Government aims for 18% tax to GDP ratio. Oyedele heads tax reforms fiscal policy committee. The Economist hails Tinubu's impressive first moves. And then some other stories here. Flood, fear in Bayelsa, Rivers, Delta, Akwa Ibom over poor preparations. Another story here, Southeast divided as seat at home lingers in Enugu, Anambra, Imo. Enugu Tribunal fails to sit as residents stay off streets. Police arrest 15 suspects over shooting in Ebonyi, Abian's Shan protest. Ladoja absent as Olubadan crowns 10 high chiefs. Event won't disrupt Olubadan's ascension. Tinubu family, others hail Abiola on 25th anniversary of death. Adeleke nominates sister-in-law, Aregbeshala's allies as commissioners. Bokachua asks court to stop ICPC investigating arresting him. All right, quickly, let me begin with this flood story. So NIMET has been raising the alarm with regards to the rains that will be coming this year. And we know some states, especially those states that were affected last year. We saw some states were actually drowned by the floods last year. And one of them is Bayelsa State and Rivers State also as part of Delta, also Akwa Ibom. And they are saying that since then, and up till now that NIMET has been raising the alarm, there hasn't been enough preparations, because oftentimes we hear these persons living around that corridor should move to the uplines, upper end of the state and all of that to avoid flooding. But how do they move if you do not provide places for them to stay? We know that these states are prone to flooding. What are we doing? Do we have to always wait till the floods get here, then we start scampering around, looking for one secondary school to gather these people, and then NEMA says there is a budget, let us buy relief materials? For how long are we going to continue? We should have some arrangement with hospitality organizations, talking about hotels now, have arrangements with them when these issues happen, such that these people can still be comfortable and not be displaced totally, because some persons have not recovered. Farmlands were actually swallowed up. Yes. Last year. Now, food security is a challenge as we speak, and the numbers, our population keeps increasing. What are we doing? We are not tackling this thing head on, and that's the challenge a lot of persons are talking about.
We had, a heated conversation on the flooding, and I said governors in those areas already know that they are flood-prone areas. The sort of houses they should be building there should be different from the regular houses in other states. When you travel abroad, you see houses erected on sticks because those are water, areas. And then the houses won't just be regular houses. We're not
These
thinking
people
about
actually travel.
They travel, they see all of these things. They don't come and implement it here. So we can't keep telling people every year, go where? Where are you moving to? There are no houses, there are no shelters that would accommodate them for that time. Some of them don't have relatives that they are going to. They don't have the money to move.
I recall one woman that said she lost everything, her business. She had just moved to a particular place and the floods came, swept everything away. She couldn't save just a few things, one thing or the other. I don't want to mention names of some of the things she was able to save. How long was that going to keep her for? They moved them to a secondary school. Now, the ladies, the men, everybody is packed together. Sanitation, it's just a challenge. The health challenge that comes with this. Anyway, let's move on to another story. Let me not continue. I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, please don't. Calm down. 35-year-old man that took the story inside the papers. Said he had done prison term on charge of rape. Has also confessed to committing the same offense with 5 minors since coming out of prison last year. So he said since January, he's been molesting and defiling young children.
Talking about a leopard, not changing its spot.
So I said that's him confessing to the police now, and the ages of the children are between 5 years to 13 years. And he's done that within the last 6 months. And so he's now in custody of the police, arrested by the Adamawa State Command. And, they are going to keep investigating everything that's happening. And that brings me to the fact that sometimes these criminals are not reformed in the prisons. What sort of
centers.
Yes, correctional.
They're not correcting.
Yeah, they're not correcting anything, so they come out worse. There was a time I also took a story of somebody who went there as a petty thief and came out as a criminal because when they sit together and share stories of how they rob, how they use guns, he was learning from there. And when he came out, he became a proper criminal. So we need to investigate what actually happens in the correctional center. Do they have therapists that talk to them? Do they have life coaches today? I don't know.
I'm surprised you're asking this question when you know what the situation is.
My sister.
You know the number of persons we have in these correctional centers. It is full. It is full. We do not have the resources. We don't. And so talking about psychologists.
That's far-reaching, right?
That's going too far.
That's why I have a story on page 20. Court refuses bail application of BRT driver who rammed into train. So we would recall that about a few months ago, there was an accident where a BRT ran into a moving train somewhere in Lagos. And so the driver was in intensive care for 7 weeks. And so he recently was approved to be discharged. And so they had applied for a bail for him. But the judge said that she wasn't going to grant him a bail. That was going to go through the process of prosecution yes, for that offense. And she also highlighted that he was sane. His mental health was perfect. So, you know, that could have been an excuse to confirm maybe he wasn't in his right state of mind. But that was already ruled out by the court. So he's going to go through the process.
Yes, that's good. Passed its closure. And they will be waiting to see that justice is not just done, but soon to be done. We need to quickly go on a break. When we return, we'll continue looking through the papers. Just stay with us. So if you are just joining us, it's Saturday on Your View, and right now we are looking through the newspaper headlines. And next is the Saturday Punch. The major story here says federal government lines up 8 judges to try 2,000 Boko Haram suspects. Ministry writes NAF to airlift judges, lawyers to detention facilities. Tinubu may discontinue amnesty for insurgents. Why we beg for money, cars, houses, veteran Nollywood stars speaking there. Now, dropouts, crime will rise with varsity tuition hike, NAPTAN president speaking. Arrest, how widow lured Lagos businessman circulating ex-lovers' nudes. Bethesda, church where pastor, choristers, instrumentalists, members are blind. An interesting story there. You're not equal to Olubadan, Makinde tells new Ibadan Obaz. And bank customers to get 115 billion naira, $22.7 million refund for failed transactions. Abiola, true hero of democracy, says Tinubu. All right, who has a story here?
I have the story of the businessman, because I do not know what type of business he's doing other than blackmailing women, his lovers, with their nudes. So the headline says, how widow lured Lagos businessman circulating ex-lovers' nudes. So they had met on the Facebook group or WhatsApp group where, you know, there are dating groups where you can meet people who are interested in you. And they were dating. It was nice. So this particular woman actually, when she met the man, it was all rosy. He was buying her gifts, giving her, you know, the good life.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yes, and then they had a misunderstanding which made the woman decide that she wasn't going to continue the relationship. And that was when the blackmail started. He started sending her nudes, and he requested for 100,000 naira for him to delete the nudes. She sent it to him. He requested for another 40,000 naira to delete it permanently. So he did, yeah.
He did not delete it.
He did not delete it. So the woman got worried. He started, even after paying him, he still circulated the nudes, sent it to her former in-laws, because this particular woman is a widow. So he sent it to them.
They were really close for him to know her in-laws.
He destroyed
Her former
her.
in-laws.
I think he did that through Facebook.
Yeah, through
All the
Facebook.
contacts on
it's-
Facebook.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know,
even easy to
sent
find
it.
those things out.
And at a point, you know, she opened up to a friend of hers who decided to mediate between them to say, okay, let's all come together and resolve this issue. But in the meantime, a Punch reporter had been taking on the story to say, this is what this man is doing. And the more the reporter, you know, talked about the story, he kept on leaking the nudes. And he now reached an agreement with the mediator to say, okay, I'll stop leaking the nudes if this guy stops taking my story. So they planned with the reporter to say, you know what, just give him this assurance that you would stop, you know, talking about this, so we can all meet at a place and then resolve the matter.
So they grabbed him.
Yes, and that was how they were able to grab him. And another of his victims also came out to say he had been using her, thinking, okay, they are dating, but he would use her, you know, sleep with her, give her cheap money, give her 1,000 naira transport fare. I don't know. So when she realized that she was just being used, she decided to move on, and he started blackmailing her as well and asking her for money that she did not have. So when they arrested him, they felt, you know, happy, they got some kind of closure that, okay,
this man will be dealt with.
Finally, this trauma can end. And it just goes to, because we cannot really blame these women. They are not married women. Some of them are single moms. Some of them are widows.
Is it a crime to date?
Exactly. So you
Is it a crime to find love?
For joining these groups. But sometimes when you meet these people in these groups, you don't have to trust them entirely. Some people just think, okay, because it's a trusted WhatsApp group
platform.
Is there anything like that?
Yes. They just feel that
WhatsApp.
Well,
They are humans.
You can meet anywhere.
Maybe the admins of those groups are actually credible. So they all just assume that for this person to be in this group,
I can put up an impression.
Even in churches, it's not everybody that you meet in, but some people tend to let their guards down because, I meet this person
Once
in church.
they see you in certain places.
So you see what happened
so they
here.
just trust easily.
But these people didn't know that he was taking their pictures.
Yes,
he
they didn't know.
It can happen to anybody.
Yes,
You
they
just
didn't
don't
know.
that this person is
Right?
scrupulous.
And then he had made them relax. Yeah. He was treating her well. The baby girl life, remember now?
The first
The second one was collecting 1,000.
taking advantage of her.
You know,
because
he had something major.
sampled and examined who she was to know how to navigate through, get her, and do whatever it was he wanted with her. So these people, they have some level of smartness psychologically.
Yes.
So they will study,
They
know how
observe
to
you.
deal
They're
with
criminals now. They
That's
learn the
it.
work.
So, they learn the work.
Then I
Some
think
people
that
just wonder
sometimes
what goes on in their head.
those people, do they actually delete the pictures when they say they will? So a blackmailer would never delete. So when you say, send me this amount, I'll delete, is not...
A desperate person
Yes,
will
he
want to
can
send
never.
the money because he knows you don't want to be disgraced.
It never
So the
ends.
person will send the money. It never ends, yes, but some people don't know that. Now, when they are in need of money, they'll come back to you again asking for money.
My wife, want to release it, Kuku release it.
Just release it yourself.
I'll go and confess.
Have fun. Who has what story
Yes, so the
again?
Central Bank of Nigeria said it received no fewer than 35,453 complaints from bank customers relating to failed transactions in the last 10 years. And they said during the period, they paid the sum of 105.45 billion and over 22.7 million refunded, to the customers as a result of the failed transaction. And, they said this while they had a program titled, they had a theme, Promoting Alternative Payment Channels as Tools for Financial Inclusion, went ahead to say that they're trying to, make it very easy for customers not to lose their money in the banks. And if you have any complaints, any failed transactions, you must report to the bank first before you escalate to the CBN if you're not impressed with how the banks handle it. But the title of the thing for me is refunds, and I'm wondering, is there money? If I do a transaction and it fails, and I go and I'm able to get the refund, is my money? You're not paying me anything extra from my money. So I don't know the
And quite
caption.
a number of people have, so I'm speaking for myself. There are sometimes I've done transactions and the money has entered voicemail, and even going through
you didn't need that money.
Going through the process. No,
you call them.
I've gone to the bank, sent mails, done a lot of things.
And they didn't do anything till now?
And it's just been there.
No, it's not possible. We have to escalate it.
No way, because I know how I put pressure on them. And they send
Then we
back my
vomit
money.
that money.
Correct.
Why not? It's my money. Anyway, let's move to the next paper now because we are running out of time gradually. Saturday Tribune, Ojukwu's brother begs Tinubu to free Nnamdi Kanu. Chaos in market schools over gunmen in Anambra. We are up to the task, Soludo police saying there. Supreme Court dismisses suit seeking sack of Delta governor. High chiefs become kings in Ibadan. Why we backed their coronation, Makinde? I do not regret being part of Ladoja's impeachment, Babalola Jogo speaking. Expert motorists kick as annual proof of ownership payment. Gunmen kill 5 in Fresh Plateau attack. 21-year-old Bauchi housewife stabs husband to death. Why? But late Isiaka Deleke's widow, Aregbesol's associates, 22 others make Osun cabinet list. Who has what story?
Okay, I have a story in Tribune, and it just focuses on having a soulmate, the importance of having a soulmate and living happily ever after.
In Tribune?
It's a...
You didn't see it. You missed it.
I was wondering. Tribune?
Yeah, it's a column right there.
Okay.
So the columnist is asking people, do you believe in having a soulmate and do you believe in happily ever after? And it feels refreshing to see people, to read that people still believe in good marriages.
They should.
Because a lot of people with the marriage breakups, stories, scandals that we're hearing.
You're used to bad news, that's
exactly.
why.
There's that fear, amongst people, especially singles, to say, oh,
are you sure I want
to do this thing like this?
So why are you not seeing it that mine can be different?
Yes.
There's some people who actually say that, oh, my marriage will work, my marriage will... I understand, I believe in affirmations and all, but do you know what it takes to actually make that marriage work? So some of these people said, one said life is not a bed of roses, there are good and bad times, so don't expect that it will be all rosy all round. And then one lady said, okay, that she actually believes in a fairy tale marriage because her parents had a very good marriage. Her mother was treated like a princess, so she is believing that
it will work for her.
That would treat her well. And there are some people that are just indifferent, like,
anyhow,
and so it happens to them that you see. People do not understand that your belief is like a magnet, right? And then what you confess, there is power in your tongue.
Yes.
And so the more you give, you amplify the negatives.
The more it comes.
So the more it comes, you are empowering the negatives. And then when you are trying to now be positive, it struggles to...
It becomes a huge struggle.
Yes.
Marisa Pierre says we make our beliefs and our beliefs make us.
Right.
Irrespective of what's happening, focus on what you want.
Yeah. The positives struggle to manifest. So that's why you hear people say make confessions, positive confessions and all of that. Affirmation and all. So, but the more you give power to the positives in your tongue, that is what you will attract at the end of the day. So be positive. Yes, things happen, but must it happen to you?
Exactly. It's not supposed to concern you.
Then I think that the people who have good marriages don't speak up.
No.
So bad news travels faster.
When you speak up, they don't believe you.
Exactly.
So you keep quiet.
They think that you are keeping up appearances.
That says tissue any butter in your mouth, but meaning that when things are going on for you, you should keep it hush-hush. So that's why
eat your yam,
something like that, yes. So I think that people who have good marriages and things are working out for them, please share your stories.
No, it's not that easy.
No, whoever wants to share should share.
They share
right, I think if you want to share, go ahead and share. You know what your defense mechanisms are. Whatever happens, you know how to deal with your issues, and you can even put it out there how we were able to deal with certain issues. People will learn. It's all about sharing knowledge. How you put it out, it's your business if you want to put it there. We are expecting Coach Bisina to be putting it out there.
I saw a reel on Instagram about this woman, a lady actually. She actually made a reel about taking her husband out to a date just because they are just settled.
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, which was quite inspiring.
Yes.
You can see me and my husband doing all lovey-dovey, but
it's not all rosy all the time. Yeah, of course.
So they had a very, I think, messy quarrel that they had to take themselves out. They had a dinner.
She took the husband out. Emphasis. She took
Well,
yes, she took the husband out. I saw it. She took
to bed. And then they resolved it. You could see them holding hands, explaining.
People will still doubt. People will still say,
She's looking for crowd.
But the truth is, you don't have to care who believes you or not. Whoever wants to believe will believe.
Honestly.
Whoever wants to take the message out of what you have put out will take it. So it's not for
it may
everybody.
just be inspiring a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. We have to leave the paper review here now.